Hello and welcome to She is So Dope Society. This is your Medical Minute Monday with Dr. Robyn White, and I want to just welcome everyone to the broadcast. So amazing things are happening with She is So Dope Society. We are a global network. Have a pleasure to be a part of a global network of women who are building women. And I don't know if you saw the announcement today, but we are not just selecting women 30 and over, we are selecting all women. So that is you. If you are a woman and you want to be part of this amazing movement, please join, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. As you can see it still on the bottom, right there. She is Still Dope Society. So you can see us here on Facebook Live and on YouTube. So today's Monday Medical Minute, our theme for this week is the power of love. And I was going back and forth and wanting to know with our CEO, CS Bailey, what direction did we want to do for Medical Minute? Because I feel like there's so many different topics we can discuss, but how does love correlate with medicine? And so we started doing some research. I dug into some research, and it is amazing what I learned, and I want to share it with you. I won't be before you long, but this is amazing. So research shows that we actually have a love hormone. Everybody will talk about aphrodisiacs and different things that kind of get your love bug tingling in the back of your head. Well, we actually have a hormone that is triggered and produced and manufactured in our love part of our brain. And that hormone is called oxytocin. So I'm sure people have heard of oxytocin, but basically it's a hormone that acts as a neurotransmitter. It is mostly known when we're talking about reproduction for females. So females may be familiar with this natural occurring hormone that we produce in our body, but it's also produced synthetically, meaning in a lab, known as Pitocin. So for some of you women out there who have had any childbearing or child labor, some of you may have got this drug called Pitocin, which is the synthetic, meaning man-made version of oxytocin. And basically what that does, it helps trigger labor. So for those that are usually overdue, a doctor may ask if you want to be induced. And one of the hormones and drugs that they use to induce us is Pitocin, which is the synthetic form of oxytocin. So what is oxytocin? Oxytocin is basically, like I said, a neurotransmitter, meaning that it is a hormone that basically is triggered in our hypothalamus, which is in the back part of our brain near our pituitary gland. And when that hormone is triggered, well, actually, there's a neuron, not to get into even though I love pathology, I'm a nerd. I'm a cute nerd, though. But I'm a nerd. And basically what happens is that hormone helps release to start contractions, to help us start going into labor, to help produce a baby and push the baby out. It is also triggered when we to help with the letdown of our milk. So oxytocin helps stimulate prolactin, which we need to actually have the letdown of our milk production. So when a new mom is caring for their baby, that bond, that connection, that feeling of love towards your newborn baby helps release the oxytocin, our love hormone in our brain, which helps us bond with the baby. Isn't that amazing? That a hormone is triggered by the release of the way that you look and that you love your child. And it helps reproduce the prolactin, the milk, the nourishment that the child needs to sustain life. So God must have been onto something when he says the power of life and death, right? Or choose which one today that you're going to do. And one of those things is love. Love thy neighbor, all of those things. So think about it. If we choose that love hormone, it actually has the ability to, one, give us a happier feeling. It gives us an emotion. Emotion is derived. They did a study when I was reading that oxytocin is a hormone that is triggered when you first meet someone or you first come into relationship with someone and you're like, oh my God, I'm thinking about him all the time. I can't get him off my mind. There's a reason for that. The hormone oxytocin is shown to be increased in individuals that are newly founded in love. And so that is our love hormone. some of the things that I told you it does trigger labor. It also triggers the release of breast milk to help us produce breast milk. In males, it helps move sperm along. So, when you're in that lovemaking zone in a sexual experience, that oxytocin is help pushing that sperm along through the genital region to help produce children. So we can see that love is reproducible, right? Because if we love, then love begets love. And so it even goes into the way that we love and we care for our children. We love and our care on our relationships. We love and care on our friendships, because it's reproducible, it's tangible. If we have love, we have the ability to give love. I think that's amazing. So another thing about the hormone oxytocin, it has like two friends that it likes to play with: dopamine and serotonin. And so all three of these are called our happy hormones. And I love that, because if she is still dope society, it impresses me that dopamine would be one of the drugs that you get when you tell somebody, you know what, you're dope. You are still dope. She is still dope. So let's get that dopamine going. And what dopamine does, it's basically what helps us be attracted to another person. When we feel that attraction, our brain releases that. It also has to deal with addictions, which is another subtopic, because it gives you, sometimes I think about Beyonce's song Crazy in Love, right? It's because that dopamine, also too much of it or too less of it, can cause different type of mental health issues like bipolar, the ability to have kind of a craze feeling over someone, or aggression. So too much of it or too little of it can have adverse effects. And that's why it's so important that we practice our chi, our ability to be able to normalize and have the appropriate balance of all of these hormones, because they work concurrently together. They work congruently together. They work together as they basically work as synonymous together. They work together. So you need all of the hormones to work in the ability to produce those happy hormones. The other hormone we're going to talk about today is serotonin. So most of you may not know about this hormone, but it basically those that kind of if you have not enough of this serotonin running through your bodies, you get depressed. So you have to have you have to have a level of serotonin to help keep you from not being depressed. And some of the medicines that we give to people that display depression is serotonin. It's a serotonin uptake. It helps uptake the serotonin so that it can be used in the brain appropriately. So these three hormones: dopamine, she is still dope; oxytocin, your love hormone that helps be released to help produce children, to produce a life, to also helps with the regulation of your breast milk. It also helps the sperm to get to where it needs to go. Oxytocin, and then serotonin. The balance of all three of these hormones are our happy place. And I believe that that's where we need to be, because right now we're getting a lot of negative energy, and it's really important that we figure out what makes us feel loved, what makes us have the ability to love. I have this screenshot I'm going to share with you all, because I just thought it was a really good picture of what it feels like to feel love. So I'm going to get it up here so I can share it with everyone. See if it works. This is my first time sharing on this platform. So see. Like sharing. Okay, we'll stop sharing that because that's not the right screen. Let's one more time here. So again, to be able to love is to be able to release the oxytocin so that it can be profitable in our body. So we can't just have love in our body and it's not being reproduced. It's not being we don't have the ability to share it. So it's really important that in order to exude it, we have to know that it's there. And so I'm going to try one more time to share this because it's a really powerful presentation, and I want everyone to see it. So let's try one more time. Sorry, bear with me. We have a new system, which is amazing because we can share different platforms. But I'm still learning how to navigate it. So I don't think I'm going to be able to show you. That sucks. Okay. So again, oxytocin, the ability to, thank you, Lori, and thank you, Sonia, for joining. Oxytocin is the ability for us to be able to to show love and share love. And so we have one of the other great things that we have to do. Oh, give me a minute. I'm gonna see if I can link this to the show. I'll email the PowerPoint out to the organization and you guys can look at it. But basically it was an amazing molecule, and because that's what a hormone is, a molecule, and it's showing all the different places and all the different directions that the oxytocin does. And so with the oxytocin, I can just read to you, it has the ability for our emotional response, so anxiety, positive mode, passive stress, coping, and trust. Those are emotions that we have. So when it's released, we can deal with our stress better. We have a positive attitude. We actually trust more with the delivery of oxytocin as well, because it helps form relationships and bonds. I read a wonderful article about how this is the oxytocin is released when you have positive connections and positive relations. Socially, it helps with maternal. There's a maternal instinct, but they also said that when a father sees his child for the first time, they also can experience the same level of oxytocin release in this maternal type of behavior. We also get this when we do skin on skin. That's why it's important after you have a child to place the skin for the touch, the physical touch of that baby on your skin to help release the oxytocin, which will then help release the breast milk and start to form the colostrum so that the baby can get the nutrients that it needs. And then guess what? There's an auto regulation. So once your babies also produce oxytocin too, which gives them the ability to be able to suck the breast upon birthing. It's just amazing how God thought of everything, that he made us as these wonderful creatures that we don't really need anything else. God has given us everything inside of us to be used for the goodness of him, to glorify him. And so here's the kicker though. The kicker is we have to have the ability to understand when we have a imbalance of these hormones, right? I remember breastfeeding myself, and for my first child, I felt like I was overwhelmed with the fact that I had to breastfeed. Like I was like, I have to breastfeed because I knew of all of the great benefits that breastfeeding did. So I held myself to a high standard of wanting to breastfeed. But I remember when I had the breastfeeding lactation nurse come to me, I was really struggling with position because I had this little baby and I didn't know how to hold the baby. And I'm like, am I holding it in the right position? I'm like, the baby's not taking it. I was like so stressed out because I was like, I want this baby to get this food because I know I have to do it. I'm like, please, my baby was a preemie too. So I even really felt that demand as a mom to do the right thing. Well, guess what? The lactation nurse said, you have to relax, because the baby can actually feel when you're not, and it will basically enable you to be able to even have the breast milk be released. I'm like, what? So she said, you need to get comfortable. You need to have your back, supported. You need to be relaxed. Your shoulders have to be relaxed. You can't hold the baby up tight. You really just have to relax. And I'm telling you all who are listening, we have to relax. We have to relax. We have to let go. We have to let God. We have to allow love, because I loved my child and I was very, in love with the baby, but I allowed the emotion of fear, I allowed the emotion of stress to basically enable what my body was able to do naturally. And that was allow the release of oxytocin to give my baby what it needed. So I just feel like there's a message in that, that we have everything that we need to be able to have love and give love, and how it's so important that we relax, we let go, we let God, we release the stress so that our body can do what it was already designed to do. So, okay, here's your test. There's 3 hormones that work together and are called our happy hormones. They are oxytocin, which helps for reproduction, sperm movement in the male, breast milk production, and it starts our labor process. Then we also have dopamine, which dopamine is our happy drug. It's produced in our brain as well. It's really seen when you have an attraction to someone. It can have some addictive behavior, so we have to make sure that we balance it right. It can be released with exercise as well. So when you exercise, dopamine can be released. And then our third hormone is serotonin. And serotonin is really more so there for people who, who sometimes if we have trouble sleeping, if we're really depressed, sometimes it's because we don't have enough of that serotonin running through our bodies. But all three of them, again, work together to be able to give us this more happy, more loving personality. So now when someone asks you, is there such thing as a love hormone? You can say, yes, there is. And our love hormone is oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. And I just want you to remember, she is still dope. So when somebody says, when you go up to someone and you say, you know what, you are still dope, and their body hears that, there's a connection and dopamine is released and that makes them happy. So today I encourage you to go out, just make someone smile, make someone release some dopamine, release some oxytocin, and release some serotonin today by letting them know they are loved and that they're still dope and that they can do anything because God has given us everything inside of our body to do everything that we need to do. We are purpose. We're not perfect, but we're purpose. C.S. Bailey helped me with that one. It's like, I want a t-shirt that says that. Copyright, copyright, copyright. She is still dope society and Dr. White. And also I wanted to leave you with a scripture for today. It's a scripture that I found about love when I was researching, and it just really touched me. So I want to read it to everyone today. So this comes out of the translation, the Passion Translation. And okay. It's one that we're pretty familiar with, but I just like how it goes. So it's Psalms 57:10, and it's the Passionate Translation. And it goes, your love is so extravagant, it reaches to the heavens. Your faithfulness is so astonishing, it stretches to the sky. Can you imagine having a love like that is so extravagant, it can reach the heavens, and that your faithfulness to love one another is so astonishing, it stretches through the sky. So today, go outside, take a good look up at the sky, and remember that love conquers all fears. Love can basically cast away all sin, and love doesn't judge. It doesn't count wrongs. It's not fearful, right? And that's what we have to be. We are love. God is love. You are love. You are loved. So have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this Medical Minute by Dr. Robyn White. You can follow me at drrobynwhite.com or over on Instagram, IG, or Facebook. I am here to help and serve you. So remember, ask your questions, ladies. I am here to help. So ask away. May God bless you and keep you. Bye-bye.